Whenever I have an offer, there's something that gives me anxiety, and I just put my finger on it. So when you think about it, when you have something that you want to present to your audience, and you're like, man, like I not only want to present this to my audience, but I also need to make money. And I need them to see this right now. And I need them to want to buy. And I need them to do something specific. And I need, like, when you have all these needs, I realize what can give you anxiety. And that thing that gives you anxiety is the fact that you just don't have control when you're marketing certain things only organically. And I see the lawn guy and I'm gonna turn around. So when you don't have control, you tend to feel like helpless. And that's how most of us feel when we say, oh my gosh, I have something that I wanna put out there. And you put it out there and Facebook decides that today's the day when they're not gonna show your shit to nobody. Facebook's gonna decide, hey, you know what? I'm only gonna show this to the people that really ain't gonna give a shit about it. They're gonna like it, but I can almost guarantee they're not gonna click on this shit. So for that reason, we end up getting anxious. Now, the way around this is through running ads. But you know what? The problem is most people don't like to pay for it. Whenever you think about paying for something, that adds another layer of anxiety. What I'd like to discuss in a moment here, I'm gonna go grab a seat, but what I'd like to discuss is how you can get around that whole ads anxiety. Because it's a more controllable anxiety. I think it's healthy. All right, so let's have a discussion about the healthy anxiety. When something is not in your control, I like to think that that's an unhealthy anxiety. Like I'm always gonna be thinking like, man, like, am I going to get the results I want today? Am I, like, what is it? And that answer, I have no control over. And that adds another layer to my anxiety. But let's say my anxiety is based off of something that I know I just need to get more resources to. Like, I just know, like, all right, well, hey, in order for me to get my results, I need this amount of money to put into getting attention or to getting exposure or to getting eyes on my offer. Now, my anxiety, it's still there. It's still there, but it's controllable. It's something that I could be anxious about, something that I can actually change. There's a potential solution to my anxiety here, which puts you in a very different space, right? Like it's one of those things where it's like, all right, well, I need $100. I need $100 to get in front of a certain amount of people so that a number of them will inquire and then a percentage of them are going to ultimately buy. If I can say, man, you know what? What if I found $100 4 times, I clarified my offer, and I said, hey, you know what? Like, if I can get this done, then that should solve my problem. Now, all of a sudden, I could ultimately get to the point where I have predictability around the problem or the solution that I'm looking to find. And that's a very different space, you know? So, I mean, not to say that I didn't know this before. I mean, I know I started this video out by saying, yeah, I just put my finger on it. I think we all know this, right? We all know this, but I think it's one of those things where we love free. Many of us love free. Like, we love to say, oh my gosh, like, there's something I'm not paying for. But the reality is, even though you may not be paying for ads per se, you're paying in another way. There's a huge opportunity cost to not getting in front of the people that you need to get in front of because you're looking to save money on ads, you know? So I wrote up a blog post that's associated with this very topic. So if you wanna check that out, that's in the description somewhere. But overall, if you're gonna have anxiety, have the predictable one. If you're gonna have anxiety, have the controllable one. If you're gonna have anxiety around something where you know what the answer is, or you know what the solution is, versus this level of anxiety where you have no idea what's driving the source of your anxiety. Like you still, I mean, you could watch all of the YouTube videos you want. Watch all the YouTube videos you want about Facebook algorithms and Instagram algorithms. You still would never figure it out. You are not going to figure it out. That's one of the reasons why people do create so much content on it, because there's no answer. there's no answer. So you will always keep searching. All right. So I am all for organic outreach, but not in this sense. I'm all for organic outreach in terms of like, hey, you know what? On a daily basis, you wake up and like you say, hey, you know what? Let me reach out to 50 people today. I'm all for that type of organic outreach and activity, but I'm not for the ones where you sit and wait and hope like, oh, I hope Facebook decides to show my stuff to people today. That will give you a lot of anxiety.